Okay then, so now inside the home component for the home page, we are fetching the data and we're updating the project's property, and then we're cycling through that to list out the title of each project. Now, each project should have a bit more template than just a paragraph tag for the title. And what I'd like to do is externalize this template in a separate component, a reusable component. So what I'm going to do is create this inside components, because it's not going to be a view in itself. It's just going to be a reusable component that we can drop into other components. So I'm going to create this over here, new file, and call this single project.view. And then what we'll do is we'll output a single project component here for each project that we cycle through. So let me quickly do that. Let me delete this and say single project like so. Now remember, to do this we have to import this component into this file. So let me do that inside the script. I want to import single project, and it's from, and we want to go up out of the views folder, then we want to go into the components folder, and then we want to grab the single project component. So we have that, but we also need to register it right here to say we want to use this component inside our template. So we'll say single project like so. And now this should work. The only thing we need to do is pass in a project into this component. So each time we cycle through the project array, we want to pass in a different project into this so that we have access to it as a prop inside this component, and we can output that project's details. So let's pass it in by binding to a prop. So I'll use colon, and then the prop will be called project, but you can call it what you want, and I'm going to set that equal to project. And that is this thing right here, because remember, we're cycling through the projects, and for each project we cycle through, we have access to that individual project. So for each one, we're saying, okay, I want you to use the single project component for that project and pass in this prop, which is that project. So now what we need to do is save this and flesh out this component. So to begin with, I'm going to type out view and select the first option to boilerplate the component. Then the template is going to be relatively simple. First, I'll do a div with a class of project, so we can style this. And then this should be project, sorry, not projects. And then inside that, we're going to have two separate divs. The first one is going to have a class of actions. Now, this is going to contain the title of the project, but all of the different actions, all of the different icons on the right-hand side of the project, like the trash icon, the edit icon, and the tick. So we'll just do the title for now, and that will be an H3. So inside here, I want to output the project title. Now, before we do that, we need to accept the project right here as a prop. So let us say props, and we want to accept the project. So now I can use that in the template to output the title by saying project.title. Okay, so after that div, and by the way, we will come back to this and output the different icons later on as well. But next I want to do another div, and this is going to be for the project details. So inside here, I'm going to do a paragraph tag and output the project.details. So if we take a look at the data right here, we can see it's this stuff right here that we're outputting. Okay, now this is also going to have a class, and that would be details, just in case we need any CSS for this later on. Now then, what I would like to do is style up this H3 right here, and also this project class. So I'm just going to paste in a couple of different styles right here. First of all, we're targeting the project itself. We give this some margin top and bottom, auto left and right. The background is white, a bit of padding, border radius, and a box shadow just to give it some depth. This A right here is the alpha channel, and it means we can pass in an opacity, and it makes it semi-transparent. The border left is this ray pink colour, and it's 4 pixels in width. And this colour denotes that this is not complete. So this is going to be the default border left. Now later on, when we click that tick icon, we're going to change this to green. But for now, everything is going to be considered as not complete to begin with. Now the H3 inside the project, this right here, is going to have a cursor of pointer because I want to be able to click on that and I want the user to know that we can click on that. So let me save this and just preview so far, and it looks something like this. Okay, so it looks quite good, but by default, I don't want to show the details. Now, this is going to be a little challenge for you. So what I'd like you to do is figure out how to hide this by default. And then when we click on this project title, I want you to show this. If we click on this again, I want you to hide this. So it toggles the visibility of the details every time we click on this title. So you have a go of this, pause the video right here, and then when you want to see my solution, just press play again. Alright then, so hopefully you had a good go at that. This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to create a data function over here and return an object inside this. And I'm going to create a data property called show details, and this will be a boolean. Now this will be false to begin with, and this is what we're going to toggle to show and hide this div. So what I'll do is apply viv to this div. I'm going to say v-iv is equal to show details, like so. And now only when this is true will this div show. Okay, so by default, if we preview this, it's not going to show. When we click on this title, I want to be able to toggle that show details boolean. So let's add a click event to this h3 at click is equal to. Now we could create a function down here to do that, but instead I'm just going to do it inline because it's only a short bit of code. So I'm going to say that I want to change show details, and I want to set that equal to the reverse of whatever show details currently is. So if show details is false, which it is to begin with, I want to reverse that and then assign that value to show details, so it will become true, and vice versa. When it's true, it will become false. So then it's going to toggle this property from true to false, to true again, to false again, etc. So let's save it and preview. And now if we click on these things, they show and hide the details. Awesome.